Okay, let's break down the words for those 3 layers of the skin. First up is the epidermis. Epidermis. Go ahead and break out your word list. This is the first set of words that we are breaking down for the integumentary system, so please reference your word list. If you need to pause the video in between pronouncing the words and breaking down the words, just make sure you pause and break them down yourself and then check yourself. Okay, so in the word epidermis, epi is the prefix, epi, and it means to be above, upon, or on the top portion. Dermo is the root term, and dermo refers to the skin. And is or is is the suffix, which is pertaining to. So if we were to look at just the term epidermis, it is pertaining to being the top of the skin. And remember when we went back to that picture and rewatched that video if you need to, it is the outer layer of the skin. Do you remember the name of the next layer down? See if you can remember before we move on. All right, so that second layer of the skin is the dermis. The dermis. And again, pause if you need to try to break it down yourself and then come see the solution. So in the word dermis, there is no prefix. The root term is dermo, which refers to the skin. And the suffix is is or is, which is pertaining to. So the dermis, if we were to break it down in context of a medical term, is just pertaining to the skin. And you're going to find, again, the fingerprints, blood vessels, nerves, glands. So there's a whole lot of stuff that you're going to see inside of that dermis layer. What about the name of the last layer we talked about? Do you remember that term? See if you can think of it first. The first was subcutaneous, and the second is hypodermis. So we're actually going to take a look at both of these words and how they break down and why there's 2 potential terms for that last layer of the skin. First, break down subcutaneous. Subcutaneous. Go ahead and break out your word list. See if you can do it. Put us on pause if you need to, and then come find the solution. So subcutaneous does have a prefix, sub, S-U-B, which means to be below or under. And as you know, that last layer is underneath. Cutaneo is the root term. And I know we've talked about the term dermo meaning skin, but cutaneo is an alternate root term for the word skin. The suffix here is ous, which means pertaining to. And so the word subcutaneous breaks down to pertaining to below the skin or low skin. So it is the lowest layer of the skin. Let's take a look at the second term that we've used to describe this third layer. The term hypodermis, or that other alternate term for that third layer of the skin. And again, hit pause before you look at the solution, see if you've got it on your own. Is it the same as subcutaneous? Is there something different? Okay, so here we've got hypo as the prefix, H-Y-P-O, which means to be below or under. Dermo we've seen before, it refers to the skin. And the suffix here is is, which means pertaining to. So the term hypodermis means pertaining to or below the skin. So I know that's a little confusing. There are 2 potential terms for that lowest or third layer of the skin, but you can see that once we've actually broken down both terms independently, at the end of the day, they mean exactly the same thing, and different doctors will just use different versions. So you should really know both.